Thank you for turning to page 121. I haven't done a challenge magazine look through in a while, so here we go. Challenge number 43 touts now 96 pages. That's up from 80 the previous issue. And we get a beautiful cover by none other than Frank Frazetta, a beautiful fantasy artist, sometimes science fiction. This would fit Space 1889 very well. And we get MegaTraveller, Trouble in Paradise, Twilight 2000, Sheltie Holiday, Space 1889, Secrets of the Ancients, and Star Wars On the Dark Side. I really liked Challenge Magazine. It was a fun magazine. Inside cover, we get a look at Battletech, the 20-year update, and ad for Heir of the Dragon. Read both of those. Those are actually both really good supplement. Or this is a good novel. That's a really good supplement. The year is 3050, and where they're advancing the Battletech timeline. Seems like 100 years ago to the current timeline. Challenge makes it all come alive. An ad for Challenge Magazine. You could subscribe to it. Out of course, Bloomington, Illinois. Game Designers Workshop. Table of contents. And this magazine was from 1990. Wow. April, May of 90. That's a long time ago. And then we go to the Sheltie Holiday. Out of the way corner of the globe and serves an adventure for the Survivor's Guide to the UK. Okay. There we go. I played Twilight 2000. I never got into it. I had some of the stuff for it. But my guys weren't really that interested. One player was really excited about it. So he went ahead and ran it for us a couple of times. We played it. It was fine, but we ended up going back to Gamma World. Continuing on, a really long adventure. And then we go to, oops, I got 2 pages there. MegaTraveller, Amber Zone, Trouble in Paradise by Wesley Kawada and Michelle Sturgeon. Oh, I kind of like these. These breathed a lot of life into the Rebellion era of MegaTraveller, which was important because there was a lot of good stuff that was done with MegaTraveller, but to actually get the flavor for working and living in the Rebellion, I liked adventures like this. When continuing on, and here we get our character with the picture over a lot of her stuff. Finishing out the article, and we go to the Adventures of Tomorrow. Voyages. Don't miss a single voyage to the worlds of science fiction out of Mesa, Washington from Starlance Publications. I'm not familiar with that one. Sowers. The Claws in Space. Most notorious spacecraft ever designed, the Sowers class fighter, named for the characteristic hand-like hull design. The word Sowers, translated from Aslan, is claw, hand, or paw. So here we go. A nice MegaTraveller ship, a fighter with a 20-ton displacement. Oh, I liked anything that breathed life into the MegaTraveller universe. And of course, nothing did that better than the Traveller News Service. I liked that they never changed it to the MegaTraveller News Service. I liked that it stayed TNS. And this brings us all the way up to 054 of 1120. And then we have the ad for the Fighting Ships of the Shattered Imperium by Game Designers Workshop. This was a kind of divisive book because there are some typos in it and some inconsistencies in design. And MegaTraveller ship design, I know, wasn't the best. I always liked the ship. I'd thumb through it and get ideas. That's what I used it for. And then we get more MegaTraveller in this issue, which was pretty rare. This one is a Vargir merchant captain, Grizown by Tad Ringo. I love NPCs. I love any kind of long explanation about them. And then finishing out the adventure before we go to Challenge Names, new staff. Michelle Sturgeon, managing editor. Lauren K. Wiseman, associate editor, and Julie Martin, associate editor. That's pretty cool. Wow. And then we go to a MegaTraveller general ad from Digest Group Publications out of Boise, Idaho. DGP had some of the best stuff of all time for Traveller. Unfortunately, it's showing its age a little bit. This was out in the late 80s, early 90s. And we all know the story about it being held under lock and key by whoever currently owns it. But fair warning to whoever holds the copyrights to this stuff. Your stuff is aging. It's not holding up as well as it could. It's been 30 years, so maybe let it out into the daylight before nobody's interested. And then we have errata and corrigenda. Not familiar with that word. So this is just from various GDW products. Here's the errors from COAC, Close Orbit, Aerospace Fighters. I always like that book too. Continuing on our various repairs, various errata. And then we get an ad for Enlist Now for a new style of adventure. 20th Century Tactical Studies Group from Cape Girardeau, Missouri. And Quest Games from Clifton, New Jersey. Let's see, it's a Recon Company, discounts on new games. Okay, so you can buy new games. Challenge Mini Epic, The Little Emperor. Little, some funnies for you as we continue on the errata, and we finish up that article. And then we go to Secrets of the Ancients by Lester W. Smith from Space 1889. That was a game I never did try. I had no objection to it. Nobody at my table really wanted to invest in it. So we never really played it. So there we go. Just a short one for Space 1889. And then we got Space 1889 Adversaries, Gaming in 3 Dimensions. These are figures, ships, and peoples from Game Designers Workshop out of Bloomington, Illinois. You can always tell a Yankee, but you cannot tell him much by Lauren K. Wiseman for Space 1889. Grizzled prospector in Space 1889. Interesting. And then we have The Richest Man in the World. Also for Space 1889. And then Hoodlums and Badmen. Continuing on, little sidebars. And then we conclude that, and we go to Now's Your Chance to Cut Loose. Space Combat is a game of pure tactical combat, but in a rather unique environment. Is it a play-by-mail? Every game starts with 10 players, and as each is eliminated, the chances of the game ending will increase. Yep, looks like it's play-by-mail out of San Jose, California from Twin Engine Gaming. The revolution enters a new phase, Battlescape. Introducing Battlescape. Some of this stuff was really nice, this Battlescape. Way ahead of its time from GeoHex. There was nothing out there like it in the time. I saw this at a couple of Battletech tournaments. I'd never really owned any Battlescape, though. And these guys were out of where? Where were we from? Portland, Oregon. Cthulhu, 1889. Imagine the awesome menace of Call of Cthulhu against the exciting background of Space 1889. That's kind of interesting. Those two go together very nicely. I kind of like this idea. So Call of Cthulhu, another game I never really played. I've read plenty of Cthulhu. And then we finish up that article and we go to GDW product distribution. Yes, Game Designers Workshop used to be literally worldwide. It's amazing to me. And in a lot of different languages. Challenge Showcase. Miniatures and role-playing game systems serve 2 main functions. So if you're not of the theater of the mind exclusively, here you go. I kind of like this. And the aim was to showcase, to provide a look at miniatures, both old and new. So these were for Space 1889, Adversaries, the Soldiers of the Queen, and Legions of Mars. And there they are. Here's a good look at them. Pretty neat. New cyber equipment for 2300 AD by Michael Labossiere. New cyber equipment. I did play a little bit of 2300 AD. I roped my guys into it a bit, but it didn't really, it was Traveller 2300 when it first came out, but it had nothing really to do with Traveller. They were just trading on the name. Finishing that out, we get Deathwatch Program for 2300 AD from Game Designers Workshop. Advertised a lot in their own magazine. Who blames them? Probably got a real good rate. 2300 AD. And then we have Share the Adventure. High Colonies. Science fiction role-playing game. $15. And they were Waterford Publishing House out of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And Grand Alliance. Simcorum Systems out of Salt Lake City, Utah. Fully computer-moderated play-by-mail. Wow. Talk about mixing the past and the present. Even then. Continuing on with our stuff for 2300. I always like equipment books. I always take a look at them. Even if they're not for a game system I'm playing, they're just kind of handy to have. And then we have The Anatomy of a Dream, Morpheus. Long before we had Keanu Reeves taking a blue pill or a red pill, we had Morpheus from Rapport Games out of Springfield, Missouri. Where You From, Mate? Homeworld Determination for Australian Characters by C.W. Hess. And this is also for 2300. And an ad for Armored Assault from ICE, Iron Crown Enterprises. I played this a little bit. I have it. I did play it with some friends. Not our official group, but it was just some buddies and I on an afternoon. I think I did play it once. I don't remember. But it was good but complicated. Lots and lots of tables. I liked it. I liked the flavor of it. The AECA, American Extrasolar Colonization Administration by Clay Johansson for 2300 AD. That's pretty neat. And finishing out the article, we get feedback results for challenge number 41. This would tell what got the best and what got the worst responses for the magazine. And new for 2300 AD, detailed starship plans from Seeker out of Findlay, North Dakota. Challenge conventions. I always like looking at the old convention lists just to see what's around. Gen Con 1990 at the Mecca Convention Center. Wow. L5, Community in the Sky for 2300 AD. This new expanded edition is giving us a lot more meat for our 3 1/4. Continuing on our 2300 AD. Wow, it was a long article. We go to Star Wars, On the Dark Side. I always like the Star Wars articles. I read most of these. These were pretty good. Continuing on. Updated chronology of the Enterprise. History of the Starships Enterprise. That's pretty cool. I don't remember this one. I'll have to read this one. It goes all the way up through Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. Huh. And then the 14 Enterprises, the ones that actually existed in real life, all the way up to the current one. That's kind of cool. I'm going to have to read this when I close this video out. That's pretty neat. Continuing on. Fantasy Role-Playing by Mail out of Scottsdale, Arizona for Heroic Fantasy. Play by mail. And then Frazetta prints. A wide variety of prints from Frank Frazetta, including this issue's cover, The Galleon, are available from Frazetta Prints, Marshalls Creek, Pennsylvania. That's cool. I always like Frank Frazetta's artwork. Armored Cavalry in the CAF. This is for Renegade Legion. I like Renegade Legion. I love the premise. Rome never fell and went on to become this horrible, overarching Star Empire, and your Renegade Legion forces are fighting for freedom. Continuing out the article there, we have Air Power, the Journal of Air Combat Gaming from LaGrange, Georgia. New source material for use with GDW's air superiority and airstrike. New for MegaTraveller, detailed starship plans, laboratory ship. I have this one. From Seeker out of Findlay, North Dakota. Subscribe to White Wolf, 12 issues for only $22. You can be the leader of the pack. White Wolf Publishing out of Anniston, Alabama. They had a lot of different games they featured back in the day. Never really bought a lot of White Wolf stuff. I'm sure I had 1 or 2 leak into my collection for various reasons, but I don't remember doing anything with White Wolf. Balancing Space Hulk by Lester W. Smith. Yes, Space Hulk 40K. My son Adam first got into 40K. He was crazy for Space Hulk because it had Tyranids and Space Marines, the 2 groups he was really excited about. Then we have Tactical Strike by Paul Kidd for Albedo. I'm not familiar with the game Albedo. That's interesting. Some kind of space critters. And then we have a Tactical Strike scenario. And then we go to Vargir, eat your favorite copy. Step Tiger, destroy the last issue. Don't despair, we have more. Challenge back issues. Challenge is one of those magazines that stayed on the shelves for a really, really long time. And I remember going around and just snapping up issues that I had missed for whatever reason from various hobby stores that were around at the time. So Challenge wasn't tough to build a back order or back issue set, but here you go. And then Challenge reviews. We have a review for Dark Future from Games Workshop and Space Hulk from Games Workshop. I'm going to show this to my son Adam. He'll get a kick out of this. By Julia Martin and John Thiessen. Sorry, John. Continuing on, Spelljammer. That was new for AD&D. That was one I never got into in AD&D. I was not interested in my D&D game going to space, as I used to say at the time. We've got Traveller for that. Sci-Fi Players Survival Kit keeps you on top of the game. From Sage Lore, Portland, Oregon. You get Traveller, MegaTraveller, and other character record sheets, starship cargo logs. Things like this were incredibly valuable way back when. We didn't even have access to Xerox machines, let alone printing or anything. Challenge Classifieds. I love reading these. I still go through these because you like to see what anything that was near you or something you might have been interested in. These are true classified ads. People wanting players, people having stuff to sell. And then we have, with IHC's Rocco mini tanks, half the battles won for International Hobby Corps Corp, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. We are the future of play-by-mail gaming, the next empire by Cyborg Games from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Play-by-mail. I never did one of those. If anybody did, please let me know how they worked out. One reader or one viewer on my channel said a few months ago that he not only did a play-by-mail, he was still doing it. That's pretty neat. Challenge in the future. We would get a sneak peek at what was coming up in the next issue. I actually liked these. And I could look at what was up for MegaTraveller, Operation Flashfire, An Adventure in the Spinward Marches, and Lost Treasure Ships of the Abyss Rift. And then Mark Miller giving a little opinion on where gaming is at the moment. And then we get the Adventures of the Century Await, Game Designers Workshop, Space 1889. Nice house ad there. And then a house ad on the back cover for MegaTraveller. Both of these are from Game Designers Workshop. Love MegaTraveller. Played a lot of it. That was our game from 87 to 93. So yeah, played quite a bit of MegaTraveller. So there you have it. There's a quick look at the newly expanded challenge number 43. Now 96 pages. Definitely worth your $3.25. Let me know what you think. Are you a big fan of Traveller, or is this all kind of new or something you just never cared about? Let me know. Let me know if you want to see more challenge flip-throughs in the future. This magazine was only published irregularly, but basically bi-monthly, so I won't be doing these as a monthly thing like I do with Dragon Magazine. These will still be infrequent, but let me know what you think. So that's it. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Tell your friends. Take a look at the Patreon. Help me out there, and I'll see you next time on page 121.